Jamie, do you want to see what's inside my box? Well, the box.
Yeah.
The MARROK sample came in last week. Check this out. Welcome guys, we're back. It's episode 11. A little bit warmer than it was the last time we filmed, but I tell you what, it is windy. Storm Aisha has been doing us a lot of problems here today. There might be a bit of noise, there's a bit of fluttering about, but I've been so excited to show you this because now the rear end of the building is completely covered up and all the block work's been done. Before it was completely open, now it's not, it's been closed off. George is currently on the other side of the wall right now doing some of the facing work, and they've been cutting insulation down here, and pretty much all of the insulation is out the way. That hurt my toe more than I thought it would, but we move. They're cutting some extra pieces and running it in between the block work. So you got block work, insulation, facing brick. That's what's happening out there. And now we've got a closed space. We put some insulation in the window openings just to keep some of that heat in. We've got quite a bit of spare insulation, which we didn't really anticipate, but we might as well use it. And we've put some lovely lights in here, which made a huge difference to the site. It was very dark, it was very gloomy, it was very depressing. But now we've got some lovely festoon lights. They're basically like a big daisy chain. They plug into a 110 volt transformer and you can just loop them around. So we put 50 meters up here, 50 meters downstairs, and a couple more as well. So the site's nicely illuminated now. They make quite a big difference. You know, you come here in the morning when it's dark and everything's nicely lit, so it's good for morale and it just helps people feel a bit brighter in the morning. We put those all around here, all the way down there and looped around again. And in terms of the progress of upstairs, this is where we've got to. We've started to put some expanding foam just above the blockwork. You can see it a little bit better here, just in between this gap between the blockwork and the steels. We put some expanding foam in there just to close that gap. Obviously blocks can move, so you don't want to be filling it with mortar. You just put some expanding foam in there and that does the trick. So, very happy with how things are going in here. I need to order the windows. I haven't ordered the windows yet. So we're going to get some quotes for that and start the production of these so that in maybe 4 to 6 weeks time, we've got lovely windows in place. Yes! Now, in terms of the mezzanine, not much has changed. Like I said, we're still doing a few bits inside there, which are quite important. But one thing did change, and that's now we have a tea and coffee station. Come join me. This is the new 2024 KR Sabers tea and coffee station, consisting of 3 convenient levels of the best plywood you can find on site left over. We've got storage for milk, we've got tea bags, we've got mugs, only the finest quality around here. Look, it doesn't even break. What's better than that? Sue from Exeter has just bought one for the low cost of just $29.99 or 3 monthly payments of $9.99. Postage and packaging costs are excluded and they are $499.99. That's a bargain really when you think about it. It includes a Russell Hobbs kettle and you'll get a free complimentary bag of granulated sugar included with your purchase. By now guys, there's not many of these left. Honestly, Sue was like one of many. Yeah, get it, now, go. For the paint and powder coating area and general metal finishing, we decided to add some of the lights in here as well. It was very dark before when you saw this room, but now you can sort of get an idea of the size of it now that it's been lit up. Got plenty of space for when we put the paint booth in, when we put all of our chemicals and things like that. If you notice, just in that corner, we've got a little vent. That's where all the fumes will be taken out of.
I think I'm getting the black lung, Bob.
And also in here, some of the metal has started to arrive for the roof. So we're using a green coat PLX steel roof. Here, this is the standing seam. So some of the pieces start to come in and the roof will start to fit those. This sits on top of the insulation. Got some timber battens here as well, which they do their fastening to. So some of these really essential materials have started to arrive for the roof. Once these materials start to arrive, there's only one place for them to go, and that's on the roof. So all of this starts to clear out, everything starts to go on, and we just know that we're getting one step closer to completing the roof, which is going to be the biggest turning point for the building. Scaffolding comes down and we're fully watertight. So now that these materials have started to arrive, it's starting to feel real. There's also been a significant update to Dad's homemade gutter system. Now, in light of Storm Aisha, there was a lot of rain over the weekend and this was completely spilled over when we got to site on Monday. Now, this big black bucket was filled to the brim, so we've made an adjustment. Well, Dad made an adjustment and he found a 90-degree piece of pipe to then go directly outside. So instead of the water collecting in the paint tray and coming down into the bucket, it now comes down and straight out. So Dad, round of applause, mate. V2. Ooh, The inventory area is back. It's not filled with insulation anymore, filled with some that are still down here, but if you remember, it was completely filled to the brim with insulation sheets. The roofers are using this as a working area temporarily. You can see they've got some of these longer panels which are formed into place using the sheet bending machine. That's basically used to form the standing seams. So that's the type of roof system. It has these seams that obviously stand and they wrap around each other and then they're crimped together. So it's a really nice way of sealing the roof, provides good protection against the elements. I'm really happy with this roof system, and Green Coat PLX is one of the highest rated systems for roofs, especially on commercial buildings. And again, we've run some festoon lights in here to light it up. We're obviously going to have a completely unique lighting system, but this provides good working environment for people, not dark, not gloomy, and just somewhere bright to be able to do such intricate work like this and preparing it all to be put on the roof upstairs. So this is their little working area now, and we just let them crack on. They're making some metal work off-site today because they've got a specialist workshop at their yard, and they'll be bringing it in and just slapping it on there, and we'll be good to go. This area of the warehouse is now closed off. Remember in the last episode, it was all open before, fully closed now. Again, lights in here to light it up, but all the block work on the inside is done in here. Finally, this corner, no more foxes can get in. Every time we were looking at the cameras that we've got, the little security cameras here, we're getting motion at the warehouse. Here's me thinking that there's kids breaking in. It's flipping foxes, they're everywhere. We're finally getting to a point where this building will stop any foxes from coming in, and we can actually have no more animals or wildlife in here. As you can imagine, we don't really want foxes coming around here because they do number ones and number twos, and some people might stand in them, and we don't want that. Boom! The second reinforced concrete beam is done, it's cured and set. This is in preparation for the block work that'll be going up here. We've got our third galvanized column just sitting here. We hung the second one the other day. That's in there nice and strong. And what we've been doing is we've been finalizing the drainage from upstairs and also along the side of the building. So we've started doing some digging along here. There's going to be some drainage of here going all the way out to the other side of the building to where one of the gutters will meet. And we've also dug this trench, which will be drainage points from upstairs because there is going to be a bathroom and a shower upstairs. Comes along here, through this trench, and then we've started to put in the inspection chamber. So this small area here is where the inspection chamber is. And once we've got all of this filled in and finished, that'll actually be all of the drainage done on the building. Normally, when you start a project like this, you would start with the drainage first, but we weren't allowed to knock the entire building down, so we've kind of had to do bits as we went along. We started obviously with the drainage at the front, which you remember in the very first episode, we had to pay a fortune to get that done. So now we're doing all the little extra bits. We'll finish this off, pour it in, and then we can start to tidy up down here to prepare that slab. Obviously, the roofers are working in that area now. Once they're done, we can start to clean the whole area, prepare the pour of the final slabs, and that will be another huge step forward. Once the slabs are poured, there shouldn't be any new materials coming in or anything like that, and we just have to start choosing our flooring. The last panel we have to remove is this one here. We can't touch that yet until we've built these new panels, mainly because our electrical box and our three-phase supply is coming in there. So we have to be quite careful the way that we remove that. We'll probably have to hang it temporarily, build the new wall, and then fix it back on there. So on the other side of this block work as well, this brickwork here, is going to be our stairs. We haven't spoken to any stair companies yet. We're going to have to start making those inquiries about fabrication of the stairs. Once we start to finish those bits there and remove the mezzanine stairs, this is going to be our access to upstairs. We're going to get all that sorted soon, and that's going to be some of the final little orders that we need to make. We've got to order the windows, we've got to order the stairs, both for the mezzanine and the main entrance. We've got to hang the doors that we've ordered, like the loading bay doors and the main entrance doors. We've got to pour the slabs, we've got to do our first fix electrics, first fix plumbing, our dry lining, and all of these things have to be happening quite quickly, and we've got to start making inquiries for those. So now a lot of the work that I've got to do is admin related, making these inquiries, getting these quotes, which is always a bit of fun. You've got to compare prices with different things, but we know a lot of good people around here, and we've dealt with a lot of good people. They've got contacts. I'm quite excited to get started on that because we've got some trustworthy people behind us. This is Mike. He's just come on site as we're wrapping up this episode. Just to put things into context, when I didn't have KR Sabers or a business or anything, he used to work at an engine rebore shop just over the road there, and he very kindly used to let me use his lathe, or he'd use the lathe and do the work for me, making things like kill keys and little parts. So Mike, shake my hand.
Love you.
Dad, you okay? Been to the dentist, huh? Not got much to say this time, do you? It's the quietest I've ever heard him, to be honest. You should go to the dentist more often. Right, in you go. It's got a lot to say, just So that's the update for this episode, guys. Thanks again very much for watching, as always. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure that you subscribe. We're finally getting there. I say it at the end of every bloody episode, but we really are. So stay tuned, keep watching, and thanks for your support, as always. I will see you guys in the next episode. Peace. Check it out.
Oh.
James and I, my senior engineer, went crazy with this one. All machined and it's fully installed. So that only means one thing, Jamie. We've got to get some blades in this bad boy, give it a bit of a spin.
Do it.
Let's go. Bit of a spin. Just touch the blade. I shouldn't be doing that. Just spin it. Haha. I don't claim to be a Jedi Master, but it looks pretty fucking cool.
Helicopter, helicopter,